Hello, children. Wish you a very good health. I hope you have drawn the diagram of neuron and I asked you to write to name the following. You must have done it. We now come to some important terms used in this chapter. Stimulus, an agent or a sudden change in the external or internal environment which will cause change in the activity of an organism. Suppose somebody pricks you. So that prick is the stimulus, and immediately it will cause some movement in your body. So that movement of your body is called response. So that prick is an agent which will cause change in the activity of an organism. Response is the change in the organism due to stimulus. Impulse, a wave of electrical disturbance that sweeps over the neuron or the nerve cell. So when transmission of nerve impulse occurs, it is due to what is called sodium pump. This occurs because there are more Na plus ions outside the axon membrane. So that is the cause of electrical disturbance, change in the number of ions. Receptors, specialized epithelial cells which receive the stimulus and set up impulse towards central nervous system. Central nervous system, you know, it comprises of the brain and spinal cord. So receptors carry the stimulus to brain and spinal cord. Now, from the central nervous system, you will get a message. The muscles or the glands which receive the impulse from the central nervous system will contract or secrete. When you were being pricked, there was a movement in your body part because of contraction of muscles. And if it involves glands, there will be secretion of substances. So these definitions you learn thoroughly well, word to word, after understanding what I have said. Synapse. This definition is very important. This you may be asked in name the following or to define. So definition you will write exactly. In name the following, they generally ask the point of contact between two neurons is. Your answer will be synapse. The point of contact between the terminal branches of axon of one neuron with the dendrites of another neuron separated by a fine gap. At the synapse, there is release of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Name one neurotransmitter. I had given it to you yesterday. Types of neurons. We have three types of neurons: sensory neuron, motor neuron, and association neuron. Sensory. They will carry the impulse from the receptor to the central nervous system. Clear? Carry the impulse from the receptor. What are receptors? Certain specialized epithelial cells. From there, they carry it to central nervous system, which is your brain or spinal cord. Motor neurons. They carry the impulse from the central nervous system to the effector. And association neuron in the brain and spinal cord, they interconnect sensory and motor neurons. Now, what is a nerve? A nerve is a bundle of axons of different neurons enclosed in a tubular sheath. Just look at this figure. You have a nerve. So they are only axons, no cytons. Only the axons of different neurons which are in a tubular sheath forming a nerve. So a nerve is a bundle of axons. The myelin sheath of the axon acts as an insulating layer and prevents mixing of impulses in the adjacent axons. Adjacent means close by. Impulses will not mix into each other. So when you have a bundle of axons called as a nerve, what terminology shall we use for a collection of nerve cell bodies? That will be termed as ganglia. Singular is ganglion. They are aggregates or collection of the cytons or the cell bodies from where the nerve fibers may arise or enter into. So when you have a bundle of axons, it is called a nerve. And when you have the collection of cell bodies, it is called ganglion or ganglia. We now come to the three kinds of nerves. You have already studied sensory neuron, motor neuron and association neuron. So, sensory nerves consists of sensory neurons which carry impulse from the receptor to the brain or spinal cord. Similarly, motor nerve will have motor neurons which carry impulse from the brain or spinal cord to effector. And mixed nerves are those which carry both sensory and motor fibers. You will learn this example here. A spinal nerve is a typical mixed nerve. This is the first part of nervous system. I will stop here, children. Again read this chapter from the first page till here. Revise thoroughly well.